Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up.
The line's wrapped around the stadium.
Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill. Good feet on the old man.
This is come back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, welcome in here to a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live here on this Wednesday. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button, as we are brought to you daily by our friends over at Go. Remember, you can find Go Chevrolet online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Go Chevrolet down in LaPlace, Louisiana. If you're looking for brand new trucks, stop in and see them. Also, used car trucks. They got great truck selection over there with our friends over at Go Chevrolet. Looking forward to today's show. Jacques got a speaking event on campus this morning, so he's coming in super early. He should be here in a couple of minutes. He's going to sit in with us at 7:15. We'll talk to him about what's going on over at LSU. Basketball team should be their last game of the season
No,
tonight,
don't
right?
say that. We don't know that. They tip
Yeah.
off tonight.
What do you want to bet here? What do you want to lay you
No,
another wager?
I don't want to bet here, but
Okay.
I'll give you like a few little facts. So they tip off at 8:20 tonight. Okay.
I mean, tell me,
All right.
are you telling me something like it's going to sway me to think that they're going to win?
Okay, the only time these two teams have met this season was decided in the final seconds. So the last time, 11 seconds left in the game, KJ hit a turnaround jumper in the lane to give LSU the 63-62 lead before the last second layup by Georgia gave them the final edge. But that was after 7 lead changes in the final half. So there is a little bit of
That
hope. We don't have
timeout
to
call
be
that
all
night, if I
doom and
remember.
gloom.
Shouldn't have called the timeout. Like they had a downhill.
Yes.
Yeah, he called
They
it.
called a timeout.
Yep.
And they didn't call a timeout. It was
Just tough. Just a
Yes,
tough night.
they've met 9 times in the tournament. LSU holds the record at 6-3 advantage, but this is the first time they've met since 2014.
Tell you what, though, if you want to make a little cash,
Yeah. You'll take that plus 15,000.
Tigers plus 15,000
I mean, can you imagine?
according to Vegas,
Oh God.
Can
with
you
a shot to
imagine?
win it.
If they won it, it would be
Oh, it'd be a movie.
right.
It
They
really
write a
would
book.
be. I mean, it could
I mean,
be
like, it would be-
freaking unbelievable.
Oh, it would be Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that's a Hollywood, isn't it?
I mean,
it
like,
really is.
They'd have to beat Bama, Kentucky, Tennessee.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
they would.
You're
But
worried
let's
about-
start with Georgia.
Yeah, let's beat Georgia first.
I mean, you could maybe bet on
y'all
this
start
game.
with Georgia.
You
They'll
could
be turning
maybe
in the
bet on
equipment
this game.
tomorrow, right? I mean, like,
Cleaning out the
this
lockers.
is the last day of the season.
But we don't know that for sure. Let's be a little more
Somebody's
positive.
really happy in that locker room. That
Plus
today's the last day.
15,000.
I know. But that's to win it all. I'm
Um,
just talking about one game tonight. There's no reason not to have hope. Just been looking at the last 2 times these teams met is all I'm saying.
I appreciate your positivity.
Yeah, Katie, we always appreciate your positivity.
So Jacques going to be here at 7:15. Then head coach of the Lamar baseball team, former Tiger, former assistant coach with the LSU baseball program, Will Davis, going to stop by. And looking forward to talking to Coach Davis. He's done this now a couple of times where he's going up against LSU. We'll ask him what makes this LSU team stand out, as he'll be with us at 8 a.m. this morning. They're jumping on a bus and heading over here for tonight's first pitch at 6:30, where LSU will take on Lamar. And that'll be 6:30 on the SEC network, as LSU, of course, the number 1 team in the country. We'll talk to Coach Will Davis about that coming up here at 7 or about 8 a.m. this morning. Carpool Queen is here. Stewie is here. Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good morning.
Everybody good?
LSU baseball is the number 1 according to Perfect Game,
Everybody?
Collegiate Baseball, USA Today, D1
Yeah, they better
Baseball,
be.
Baseball America. I mean, freaking everybody.
You heard Doug say it yesterday. We'll find out next week.
We will.
You know, for the next couple of games,
That's
next
everybody
couple of
saying in those
days.
comments.
Ride
They're
the
like,
wave.
Whoa. Come on, y'all. Play some SEC teams.
Yeah,
Nobody,
look,
preseason doesn't count.
No doubt.
Out of conference doesn't count. That's what all people are
If
saying.
I read the score correctly last night, I saw Boston College beat Tennessee in Knoxville.
yeah.
Yeah, it gets weird, right?
Midweeks are weird.
Tennessee, a little overrated early on.
Look at him.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like,
Tony.
I don't want to be throwing stones just yet.
Early suspension for Tony V.
Like Dougie said yesterday, still very, very early.
It is very, very early.
Very early. Very
Ole
early.
Miss beat Southern Miss last night, unfortunately.
Louisiana Tech beat Ole Miss.
Yeah. And then they lost.
yeah.
Because Ole Miss
Then they
is
had
I'm
to
talking
Scary.
about
Game
last
back.
night, though. Southern Miss is good. Again.
Always.
I know.
Nice little squad.
It's a baseball school.
Mississippi's a baseball state.
Mississippi's baseball state, y'all. Everybody knows
It
that.
better be. All right. I always, every single year, I always like to remember before we get into what we'll be talking about here. And LSU football picks up another recruit overnight as transfer portal pickup here, and a huge one. Mason Lunsford, who is a 2-year starter over at Maryland, is jumping in. He jumped in the transfer portal and landed with LSU. He made it official last night, as he said that really what separated it was the realistic chance to win the championship this year. Lunsford said last night to The Advocate, you can't go find that just anywhere. That was really what appealed to me, is what he said last night after he had signed his letter of intent to join Brad Davis's offensive line. And we'll talk more about it here coming up. But, I mean, what the transformation of the offensive line over the last couple of just cycles has been really has been incredible. And with what Brad Davis and the staff have done, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But this was 35 years ago today that if you're an older LSU fan or if you're around my generation, my age, 40 years old, you were right on the heels of the 1986 Final Four run for LSU basketball. And that featured Don Redden. And Don Redden was a Monroe native who came down to LSU, spent 4 years, got a great story, battled some injury, ended up being the team captain on that 86 team, and was really kind of the heart and soul of it. Was on the cover of Sports Illustrated when the Final Four had happened. They were going to Dallas. They were eventually beat by Louisville, I believe, but he had an incredible tournament. And he also, for whatever crazy reason, kind of like crossed paths in my life. And I was such a young kid at the time, but he made such a huge impact on me. And I've been on radio and now podcasting for about 15 years now. And every year I always remember him on March 8th, because I remember the day that my dad came to school to check me out and told me that Don had passed away. And it's crazy that is 35 years ago today. I mean, that is wild that is nearly, a lifetime ago. But I still remember it as if it was really yesterday. I remember
that's sad.
It was raining. It was like a Tuesday, I believe.
Jeez, Jordy, you really remember it.
Yeah, no, I really remember it. And because it was crazy. I thought about Don Redden so much when I was like his age in my life. At like 22 and 23 years old, for whatever reason, he had taken such a liking to me as a kid and like would bring me with him places. And Tim Johnson, who's a local businessman here in town, was his college roommate. And Tim and I still keep in touch. And I met Tim during that time. But it was all about love of basketball. My dad was a basketball referee, and Tim Johnson and Don Redden were the coaches. This was Don's first year out of LSU. Like, he had just gotten out, and he had a tryout for the Denver Nuggets in the San Antonio Spurs, but he ended up not making it. And he thought about going to play in Europe, but he didn't go play in Europe, so he stayed in Baton Rouge, and he started working here for a financial firm, and he was coaching Catholic League basketball, and my dad was a referee and would take me to the games, and I would just run around, and, during the quarters I'd shoot, and me and Redden and Johnson kind of hit it off because we either stayed late or showed up early, and my parents were going through a divorce, and, like, he would, like, come pick me up from school, take me to the gym with him, allow me to, like, watch him work out.
That's great.
I mean, like, I would sit on the bench with his team when he would coach. And then my mom has a twin sister, and his girlfriend and my mom's twin worked at the same clothing store.
Oh.
So we would go over there and visit him, and Don would be there visiting his girlfriend. And then, like, he would take me to lunch. And it was just like this relationship where you were like, I mean, at the time, you're like, I guess everybody has this, right? But then, like, you get to be, like, 22 and 23, and you're like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
It is.
Like, I couldn't imagine that age being so tied to a kid like that, and it leaving this impact like it did personally on me. But I know that he did that for a ton of people. Like all of those kids that he coached, sometimes I'll run into around town, like a guy named Danny Foley. A lot of people will remember the LSU baseball catcher on the 96 team, Tim Lanier. He played on that St. George, Don Redden coached basketball team. Danny Foley was another guy, and I'll see those guys around town, and we talk about Don all the time, just about, just the impact in a short amount of time. When he was like 23 years old.
How did he die?
He died of the same thing that Pistol Pete died.
Really?
Of. He died of a heart defect that was not found until after death. But essentially, he was operating with, kind of like not his whole heart working.
Like Pete was.
Right, it was the exact same thing.
Where was he? Do you
Hank
know?
Gathers. Yeah, he was. It was like on one of the. Actually, it was on one of the Dales. I believe it was Glendale in Mid City Baton Rouge, kind of like South Downs Baton Rouge, and he was with his girlfriend Debbie Orso, and they were at her house, and it was the middle of the night. And he got up in the middle of the night, I guess, to either use the bathroom or get a drink or, get some water. And he was on the floor. And she woke up, I guess, a couple hours later. And by that time, I mean, it was like Pete. It was like Pete was dead by the time he hit the ground. It was Hank Gathers.
Yeah.
Hank Gathers was Loyola Marymount. I mean, he was dead when he hit the ground.
Yeah.
It was just such a freak.
Yeah, that really is.
Deal, and like Sheldon Mickles is a guy that covered the LSU basketball team that has great Don Redden stories because he covered those teams that Dale had. And I just, every year, March 8th, I always think about him. And I know that there's a lot of LSU fans out there that were a part of that 86 team or have gone back and watched clips around that 86 team, and Redden's so huge and such a big story for them. I always want to remember him this
sorry,
day.
Jordy, that's
no, it's
tough.
all good. It's all good now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, it's 35 years.
I know.
I mean, it's 35 years, and it's crazy. They're both, Pistol Pete and Don Redden are buried at the foot of one another.
Really?
At, what's the one by Parkview? Is it Roselawn?
I think so.
Is that
I think
Roselawn?
that is Roselawn.
At Roselawn.
Really? That's really
they're
cool.
buried at
Wow.
right next to each other.
Have you been?
Yeah,
there?
I've been. Yeah, I've seen it. All right, Jacques Doucet joins us every Wednesday. We had to bump him up here because he's got an engagement over at LSU that we're going to get him out of here for during the 7 o'clock hour. But we'll talk LSU baseball, LSU basketball, Saints sign, a quarterback. Lots to get to with JD here coming up as we're brought to you daily by Go Chevrolet. Come back with us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll be right back. Right back.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at jordyculotta.show.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Fourier Insurance Agency, established in 1946, locally can help you with any of your home, auto, commercial, contractors, life and health insurance today. Give them a call, 225-383-0682, or log online to FourierAgency.com. All right, welcome back here. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet and daily brought to you by R&B Builders. Check out Rhett Bourgeois and his crew on Instagram. They got great Instagram, which you can follow there and keep up with all the projects that they got going on. Commercial or residential, let R&B help you out. All right, Jacques here every Wednesday. He's on the clock here at 8 o'clock, but there's a lot to get to, so we'll jump right into it. JD, good to see you this morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm enjoying your Don Redden stories. I had just gotten into sports at that time, and I think I had just gone to my first few LSU basketball games. And back then, that year, LSU hosted the SEC tournament.
That's right.
And I remember going, they played Kentucky, and I think Rex Chapman was on the Kentucky Wildcats, and LSU played a tough game against them at home and ended up losing there in the SEC tournament. But I remember all that Don Redden and Pistol Pete. They had passed away basically around the same time.
Don passed away in March, and Pistol had passed away in January.
The same year?
88.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I remember Ricky Blanton was on the current LSU team.
That's right.
And
he was actually dating Don's sister, Roxanne Redden, who was on the girls' team.
You need to write a book, man.
I know, you really do.
Yeah, so I remember those were my first memories of LSU basketball, and I guess my first memories of working at Channel 9, one of the first things that really hit home was when Wally Pontiff passed away.
Yeah.
with his irregular heartbeat or whatever, and nobody could make sense of it, and was like, people were speculating, was he using drugs? Or, I mean, this was the most all-American apple pie guy you could ever, and it's like, no, he was not doing anything like that. Just had an irregular heartbeat and passed away. And so those are the guys that, that come to your mind immediately. Athletes that passed away way too young. That's you can't make sense of.
Yeah, it was crazy because you're right. I mean, Pete and Don, it was right around the same time. All right, JD, let's start with the Saints because I know you cover the Saints and you go down to New Orleans regularly and are down there on Sundays during the fall. What did you make of the signing of Derek Carr?
Well, it's the biggest thing they've done in a long time, right? In terms of, okay, we need to find our fearless leader, and we're putting our trust into you. I watched all the recaps from Skip Bayless to First Take and all these people. They all seem to think, okay, he's a good quarterback. He has zero, really, well, not zero, but very little playoff experience, but he's been with a bad organization. I guess there's kind of some Matthew Stafford parallels there to an extent. But he is still young. He's 32. He's experienced and he's still young. So hopefully they can get him in some prime years. And obviously the Saints quarterback situation the last 2 years hasn't really led to anything. Jameis did some good things, but injuries kind of sabotaged his 2 years with the Saints. And obviously Andy Dalton's on the backside of his career. I like Andy Dalton as a backup, but not as a starter. So it's a big hire, a lot of money, but at the same time, people saying, that's about market value. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, obviously it makes them, I guess, the favorite to win the division in terms of quarterbacks because the other three teams are pretty much unknown at this point.
Right.
So, let's go.
I'm telling you, if this Aaron Rodgers story plays out where he goes to the Jets and he goes to the AFC, Tom Brady is coming back and playing for the San Francisco 49ers. Not. You better believe. Who would be the best quarterback in the NFC? Jalen Hurts, obviously. Jalen Hurts would be it. Outside of Hurts, give me the best NFC quarterback if Aaron Rodgers leaves and goes to the AFC.
But after Brady said it's for good this time, and I can't.
He just got a 2-month-old kid.
And then John Lynch calls him and says, I got you a Super Bowl ready winning roster, ready to go. And guess what? You don't have to show up until September. You don't have to show up for training camp practice. You're the starting quarterback. And look around the NFC. Yeah. Who's the quarterback? Kyler Murray? I mean, who's his competition?
I'm not going to pitch a fit if he comes back. That'll be fine. I'm not going to be one of these guys that acts all, you said you're going to retire and you're coming back. So
he cannot
be
do
great.
this again.
If Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, I'm saying it right now.
I'm
telling you right now, Tom Brady will be the opening day quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
Jordy, he can't do that again.
Book it. JD, LSU basketball is favored by 2 tonight. Do you believe that?
Who they playing?
Georgia.
Whatever. I guess I'll watch. I couldn't even watch. They didn't even have the SEC network in Austin. I was there last week covering LSU baseball.
Wow.
And I'm looking for the game against Ole Miss, and it wasn't on there, at my hotel at least. They've got this thing called the Longhorn Network, which is going away. But I haven't really even watched their games recently. They led Florida by 12, and then they lost by 12 the other day.
Yeah, it was unreal, man.
I watched the game against Missouri. I watched that game the other night where they had a 19-point lead and blew it. And those are the kind of things that make you wonder about coaching to an extent. I mean, the situation's bad, but you got a 19-point lead at home and you lost. So, I don't know. Yeah, sure. Hope they win by 3 points tonight and they cover.
I didn't realize they'd only won the tournament one time before.
81,
LSU
right?
Men's. That's what I was going to ask.
I think it's 80 maybe? Is it 80 or 81?
Dale Brown was the coach.
They've never... I mean, I remember they made the finals with Gert Hammock one year in 93.
80. They beat number 2 Kentucky. 1980.
Man, that's why when Wade and them got to the finals a couple years versus Bama, that was a huge deal.
That's why it was so huge.
It was a big deal, man.
Yeah. And I remember asking him after the game if they would have won, how it would have impacted their seed. And he said, our seeding was decided Friday. Yeah. Like, these games didn't even matter, So conference tournaments are an interesting discussion. I know Mulkey doesn't think very highly of them, but yeah.
I mean, Mulkey last week was on this show saying it doesn't matter what we do in South Carolina, in Greensboro, we know what we're seeded. And now people are saying her seed is shifted because of the outcome last Saturday night.
That's ridiculous.
I
agree.
agree.
Ridiculous.
I agree.
A 2-point loss to a team that's now ranked in the top 25 in the semifinals of a conference tournament, and you got drop kicked 5 spots in the AP top 25.
So wait, is this thing personal now? I kind of feel like she's almost the villain of the sport.
I've gotten, this is from the LSU side, but I've gotten wind that the beat writers that cover Tennessee, UConn, and South Carolina had LSU ranked like 13th or 14th. And the other ones had them 6th or 7th or something like that, which brought them to the medium of 9 or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, you got to be careful because when the Angel Reese thing came out that she wasn't one of the 15 finalists for the Player of the Year, we're all like, okay, is this personal? And you find out it's something else. You know, she didn't meet the requirements, which seem to be academic. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, is this team better than last year's team?
I would say so.
Last year's team got a 3 seed.
Yeah.
Last year's team played maybe a tougher schedule.
Right.
But, I mean, I would think this team's better than a 3 seed, which they were last year.
I mean, like, what have they done not to say that they are? That's
But
what
is that why
That's what
the
I don't
schedule?
get. That's what I don't understand.
It's the non-conference strength
of
of
2 games.
They lost 2 games out of 30, right?
I mean, give me a break.
Their non-conference strength of schedule that they're going to continue to get whipped over is, 313th. I think that's just the thing that they're continuing to get kind of hammered on. And they can't impact. The SEC is what it is. It's not that great.
Right.
It's very top-heavy.
Look, man. I get the feeling, and I hate to be the conspiracy guy. You know what I mean? And I don't want to play I don't by any means think that they are a victim or she is but something's up. I mean, like somebody's got it out for her, or at least it's personal for somebody, and she is obviously somebody that's easy to hate for them.
Yeah.
You know,
well, when she's not coaching for you, you don't like her.
Absolutely.
You know, it's so, and then, you know, some people don't like Angel Reese's little dances and when she pretends like she puts on a crown and stuff.
Did you see Tennessee's celebration?
I heard that.
As soon as they won the game, they ran into a huddle and started doing the dance that Reese was doing again. And it's like, I mean,
tacky.
Well, not only that, it's like you've been thinking on this. It was kind of like when I saw it, I was taken to Georgia at the SEC football championship.
Right.
Like, damn. That's been in your head for a long time. Wow. You've been thinking on that for a minute.
Somebody at the LSU baseball game in the press box the other day told me the same thing. Like, wow, we were really living rent-free in their head that they, you know, had that whole thing ready in a conference tournament, too.
What type of noise do you expect them to make here?
You know, my feeling, Jordy, has been Elite 8. That's kind of what I'm over-under with them. If they don't make it out of Baton Rouge, I think that's going to be a disappointment. I think you've got to make it to the Sweet 16 at least. Yeah. And last year's team is last year's team, but, you know, Jackson State should have won that game last year.
No doubt about it.
I mean, they had a 12-point lead with 4 minutes left to go in the game. So I don't know if she points to that or not and says, hey, look, you know, we got to come out strong no matter who we play in the first round. But, you know, it's going to be a case of they'll be at home again, and it's just a matter of who they send over here. I mean, this is a team that's very strong. They've done very well, but they have some kind of things that make you nervous that if they don't show up and play well, they could get bounced. But if they're playing at a high level, if Alexis is scoring, if Flage's on her game, if Angel's on her game, this is a team that could go far. But that's just kind of what you worry about. The guards, if they don't have a good game, or if Angel's slow to get going or whatever. But I think Elite 8 would be, you know, that'd be tremendous, obviously.
You made the trip to Austin with the baseball team. They've been home since and take 4 from a couple of opponents in Central Connecticut and Butler. Tonight, Will Davis and Lamar are in town. Man, they looked the part here through the early part of the non-conference. But like Doug Thompson was here and said yesterday, we'll find out here pretty quickly if they're as great as we think they are or they're just a contending team.
Yeah, you know, 11-1. I mean, they had one bad game. I was there for it when they played Iowa and loaded up the bases in the first inning, couldn't score. The Iowa pitcher just had a slider they couldn't hit. And then LSU, I think, struck out 15 times and left 14 on base. Cold day in Round Rock, Texas. So that's the one bad game they've had so far. And then the Texas game in Austin, I mean, just a great night for baseball. Nice and warm, sold out, almost 8,000 people. Really well-pitched game on both sides. But on the LSU side, striking out a lot until Gavin Dugas played hero and hit the 3-run homer in the top of the ninth. And so, you know, these games that they're 10-run ruling Butler and Central Connecticut State, how much can you get out of that? I'm not sure. But certainly the improvement of Thatcher Hurd has been tremendous. I think the last time I came on the show, he was coming off his first outing against Southern, which was not good. But since then, pitched well at Texas, pitched well on Monday, so it's almost 11 straight innings of shutout ball. So, if you go with Paul Skeens, that moose on Friday, and then you follow him up eventually perhaps with Thatcher Hurd, and where does Christian Little fit in? I mean, and Chase Shores, as somebody told me, he's going to be Paul Skeens next year. Not riding off what he can do this year, but he's a true freshman.
Right.
And Dylan Cruz is still Dylan Cruz. Hit a home run to dead center on Monday, and Trey Morgan, and so they look great. But really, I mean, you don't really get a true sense of things until maybe we're 3 SEC series in. They're going to open up at Texas A&M, first SEC series of the year, and Lamar is 10-2 tonight, so that's a it's a nice little test for them. Sanford, I looked up, is 6-6. They come into the box this weekend for the final non-conference. So Wes Johnson, the pitching coach, tremendous addition. Like Thatcher Hurd called him the best pitching coach on the planet, and just said he's been tremendous. I mean, no bad returns whatsoever, nothing but glowing response to Wes Johnson as the new pitching coach.
Yeah.
So,
I was really impressed with Christian Little last week. I mean, just the way that he came in and just mowed him out. I mean, you kind of got to look at it. Texas's guy folded, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that moment was way too big for him.
Yeah.
And Little came in there and was like.
Well, and Coach Johnson said, pitching played such a good role because I think Texas was on their 6th pitcher and LSU was on their 3rd.
Yeah.
And the Texas 6 guy walked 2 guys, and then Gavin put one way up in the sky over the wall. So, Christian Little, I think, and then he gave the horns down on the final out.
I mean, if I'm Brian Kelly, I'm sending a text. I mean,
Well, and one thing, Jordy, real quick, I did an interview with Bill Franquez over in Austin, and Bill said last year when LSU went to Mississippi State, and Mississippi State was the defending national champion, they were in pregame warm-ups, and he said, Jay Johnson said, look at their guys. Look how big these guys are. He goes, we're going to look more like that next year.
Hell yeah.
And you look at Paul Skeens, you look at Jared Jones, Thatcher Hurd ain't a small dude. Little.
Yeah.
Aiden Moffitt. I mean, these are some football-looking guys on the team. And
Tanks.
So, what's that?
Tommy Tanks,
yeah. Derek Groomer, the young guy who's a strength and conditioning coach, gets a lot of credit. But, they are definitely, as Coach Johnson said, we're not going to be recruiting many guys that look like me. And so
that's what I've been saying. They had a lot of guys, a lot of the teams that have been coming through here, a lot of the guys look like me.
Yeah, there's different ways to skin a cat.
Pound, 5'9", 170 pounds. You could find a dozen of these guys at every frat house on Stadium Drive.
Hey, great history with guys like Mason Katz and Antoine
No
Duplantis and Rafe Rhymes, and
there's still room for them on the roster.
And they've got a couple, you said, coming that kind of fit that mold. That used to be always Skip's thing. You don't have to be 6'5" and bench press 400 pounds. Okay, they look like you and me, like Warren Morris.
Right, exactly.
But Warren Morris, like Bill Frank. Warren Morris, he looked like us. I said, that's why, they said John Daly. Why was John Daly so popular, on tour? He's like, hey, he's overweight, he drinks too much, he's been divorced a few times. Yeah, he's me,
Right.
He's an everyday guy. Tiger Woods, 30-inch waist, huge shoulders, Mr. Perfect. I can't identify with that,
That's right. That's right.
So, but anyway, so they are definitely a bigger, stronger, more physical team.
Yeah, without question. I mean, they definitely looked the part of the number one team in the country. And all the hype that they had. This has got to be cool for Will Davis. We're going to talk to him in a little bit. But you covered him as a player, as a coach. I mean, now coming back with Lamar. And like you said, he's got a really good team.
He's doing a great job. He's already in his 6th year. That just shows you how time flies by. And certainly, paid his dues as a player, and certainly a Paul Maneri, disciple. I mean, Coach Maneri, the program that he ran for all those years, and being a national seed, 7 straight times, and if Coach Maneri wins a national championship in 2017 and doesn't have the bad luck, it's 2 national championships, the modern day version of 5, maybe not, but it's close. Only one other, Paul Casey at Oregon State won 3 national titles from 16 to 18. Nobody else won more than that, or won that many. And so, Will Davis learning from Coach Maneri, and then taking his own personality and his own things and implementing them there at Lamar, certainly doing a great job.
Yeah, without question. All right, Jacques, what's going on? You working today? We usually catch you on your day off.
I'm doing a few things this morning, then I'm off. But LSU spring football will start tomorrow. About this time, I guess we'll be going to practice. They're doing morning practices. Looks like this year. And if you've noticed, they haven't announced what the spring game's going to be.
Yeah.
And I've heard, I don't know what you've heard, but I've heard as vanilla and as bland as that thing is, some coaches, they don't want to put tape out for opposing coaches, no matter how boring it is. John Emery off the tackle, okay, we've seen that before, but I think it's a case of, I don't know who's going to be the first coach to maybe stand up and say, we don't want to do a spring game, but the SEC network has said, hey, it's a big TV event. We can put this on TV. This is entertainment. This is ratings.
I think LSU's trying like hell to get out of it. And I think they kind of started that process yesterday with him announcing a lot of those injuries, right? Like in saying, look, we don't have a lot of bodies that are going through spring. You know what I mean? Like the last thing we need to do is get out there and have some type of scrimmage and some type of, where we got to go back and forth with 11 on 11. And I think that's kind of the way of let me get out of this. I don't want to put any film out there. I don't want you to see how good we've been recruiting on the offensive line. I mean, that was a huge pickup last night.
It's tremendous.
Mason Lunsford, the guy out of Maryland, 2-year starter. I mean, look, that's been the prerequisite here in the transfer portal. Last year it was take everybody, right? Specifically, if you're from Louisiana, you're in.
Yeah.
Right? But really, the gate's open for everybody. I mean, if you want to come in and play for LSU, now's the time. Now, they've closed the gate back up and become a little bit more selective. Kind of like, hey, you, with all that experience and the captain on your sleeve, Omar Spates, you come play for LSU. Hey, you, Mason Lunsford, 2-year starter, you come play for LSU. Those are, I mean, when
pre-Brian Kelly, I could not think of the guy's name. They brought him every week for interviews. I'm getting old. The guy from Harvard that played center.
Yes.
Liam Shanahan.
Yeah.
Liam Shanahan missed the face of LSU football for 2 years on Zoom interviews.
2020, 2021. Yeah, that was the guy.
Go speak.
Harvard.
Yeah, right.
Nobody else wanted to talk. So, but experience. And kind of you see that with the defensive line, too. Maybe you look at the individual players, and some of them don't really pop, but we want experience and rotate guys in and out. And so when we play Texas A&M late in the year, we're not getting pushed around, and we're gassed.
Yeah. And Lunsford said he came to LSU because he believes they can win a championship this season. I mean, he said, like, he looked at the schedule, he looked at the team, he looked at the program and said, this is it, man. Do you believe that they're a national championship contending team this year?
Well, it seemed like the early indications are they're going to be picked to win the West, even though the Alabama game's on the road this year. But, yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, you and I have already talked about the first game of the year against Florida State has been ranked as the top non-conference game in college football this upcoming season. Offensively, they're going to be loaded with weapons, and then defensively, I think they're patching some holes up, and their head coach obviously has proven in 1 year what he can do, and in year 2 now, I'm excited about it. Looking forward to it. Spring football, it can be viewed as boring, but I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. I think it's going to be, and the fact that we get to talk to people and interview people, and they got a new special teams coach now, and so here we go.
JD, good to see you. Have a great day, buddy.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yep, Jacques, every Wednesday right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll be back and carrying on. We got Will Davis stopping by the conversation. He'll be through here at 8 a.m. We'll talk to him about his squad. As Jacques said, 10-1 on the season. A nice start there for Lamar. We'll talk to him about coming to the box tonight. We'll be back with more of the show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to...
Stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college, for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at jordyculotta.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Fourier Insurance Agency, established in 1946, locally can help you with any of your home, auto, commercial, Contractors Life and Health Insurance today. Give them a call, 225-383-0682, or log online to FourierAgency.com. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to JD, Jacques, for stopping by here. We're going to talk to Will Davis coming up here, and as Jacques said, 6th year for Davis over at Lamar, which is crazy, man. It's crazy that how fast time flies. But we'll talk to Coach Davis coming up here in a little bit as we will talk to him. Of course, head coach over at Lamar and Coach Davis and the crew right now with a squad 10-1 on the season. They also have a catcher in Ryan Snell, who's been named to the Johnny Bench Award watch list, who is a heck of a player. So we'll talk to Coach Davis. Of course, Coach Davis was a catcher here at LSU, so we'll talk to him about Snell and his squad coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. As always, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. We touched on it a little bit, but LSU football going to start spring practice tomorrow. They're going to go in the mornings. So we might shuffle around our programming a couple of days so we can get out there and have something to report back on. But going into spring drills, they picked up some more good news. Is a offensive lineman out of the transfer portal, Maryland, 2-year starter Mason Lunsford has committed and signed with LSU. He started all 13 games on the offensive line last year for the Terrapins, as he'll have a couple of years of eligibility left here for LSU as he'll join for the 2023 season. He has played over 1,600 snaps in his 4 years at Maryland. He's versatile. He's a guy that can come in and play here at LSU. So another offensive lineman in this room for Brad Davis and the offensive staff to add to the list of growing guys with experience and guys that can come in and play immediately. It has been really cool to see this group really transform. I mean, they have transformed into one of the strengths of the team here going into spring. So Mason Lunsford is the latest to pledge to LSU, and he'll be in as we said. He was in over the weekend. This was a huge recruiting weekend for LSU this past weekend, and you're starting to see some of the fruits of that. And Lunsford is the latest to pop as another offensive lineman pledges to the Tigers. And spring football starts tomorrow, so we'll be out there. We'll have coverage. Oh, we're good, man. We're good. We're good.
I can't wait then.
We're good.
Okay, can we please go back to your comments on Tom Brady? Cause
no booty pics this year, Katie.
Ooh, I'm definitely getting booty pics. It won't be.
We can't
post them before practice.
Yeah, we can't post
over.
it.
Yeah, gotta wait till the press conference is over.
Yeah, I gotta post my booty pics late.
Yeah.
That wasn't me. I didn't do that.
No, I was just saying, no booty pics.
Okay, please let's go back to the freaking Tom Brady stuff. Why are you saying that? And are you saying Miami? You think it'd be Miami?
No, I think it's going to be only San Francisco.
Miami,
and San Francisco because it's in the NFC. And you got to follow me here now.
Okay.
Where is all the power in the league right now? The power is in where the quarterback is. The Super Bowl winner is Patrick Mahomes. He's not going anywhere.
No.
The second best quarterback in the league is Joe Burrow. He's in the AFC. The top 5 quarterback, Josh Allen, he's in the AFC. Lamar Jackson, he's in the AFC. I mean, we can keep this thing rattling. If Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay and goes to the Jets, he's now in the AFC. So if you look around the NFC, and right now, even with Rodgers, Jalen Hurts obviously is the lead dog in the NFC. And coming off of his Super Bowl performance, he shut a lot of haters, a lot of doubters up with that Super Bowl performance. I mean, really, you go back and watch the tape, outside of that fumble in the third quarter where he has, he had the ball knocked out of his hand, he played nearly flawless, right? I mean, that was, for the standpoint of, he couldn't defend Patrick Mahomes. He did everything he could do to win that game. And Hurts is a stud. And I love Jalen Hurts. But outside of Jalen Hurts in the NFC, sell me one quarterback that scares you against any of those AFC guys. Matthew Stafford,
But what does this
when
have to do
healthy, old now, banged up. I mean, seems like he's on his way out. Brock Purdy started
Yes.
8 games with San Francisco.
But he's good.
Yesterday, he had elbow surgery. It has been ruled he will be out a minimum of 8 months, which is right now the middle of the season.
Okay.
So
Josh Allen?
is the AFC.
What's your point, though, with this with Tom Brady? Are
I'm
you
saying that
there's
Brady
nobody,
has a
so he
clear
has
shot
to?
to the Super Bowl. And
Jordy,
if you call
can't do
Brady,
this again.
what do you mean?
He
San
can't come back out
Francisco
again.
has a roster that the only thing they're missing is a quarterback.
But the rumors of Tom Brady coming back are Miami, and that's it. That's all I'm
they're
saying anyway.
not. They are San Francisco, too. Him and John Lynch are tight. He's the general manager. Lynch has been blowing up Brady as long as Brady's been wanting out of Foxborough. As long as he's been wanting out of New England, John Lynch has been one of the guys that's been in his ear that's saying, come play for us. Come home. Tom Brady grew up idolizing Joe Montana and the San Francisco 49ers. It makes perfect sense for him to go out. I mean, are you really going to fall for the video on the beach thing?
Yes.
No
I
way.
did, because how can you,
With Tom Brady?
But how
this
can
guy
you do
was
that
setting
twice?
records last year. Last year, his completion percentage was the best it's ever been in his career. His attempts were up. It was the second most of his career. This guy's 45 years old. It's not like he's dead. He's not limping out like Favre.
But you're saying
he's
that
going
about
out like
Aaron
Jeter.
Rodgers?
He's going out like Kobe. Kobe had 61 in his last game.
But you're being down on Aaron Rodgers for being 39 and
Yeah,
saying,
but-
and Derek Carr too. He's 32. Like, he didn't have a lot left, and now you're saying Tom Brady 45 does.
Yesterday, first off, context. Yesterday's discussion was around who are we building a franchise around. When Tom Brady's 45 and Aaron Rodgers is 38, compared to a 24-year-old Burrow, it ain't even up for discussion.
Right.
It's not even. But for a 1 year and a Super Bowl winning roster, I mean, that's what the Jets are selling Aaron Rodgers on.
Yeah.
They're telling Rodgers, hey, you're the only thing that's missing.
Mm-hmm.
But Rodgers is around a bunch of kids in the Jets locker room. I mean, with the San Francisco 49ers, you got adults, you got career pros, you got ready to win, and all they're missing is a quarterback. You don't think that John Lynch has been in Tom Brady's ear?
I haven't seen anything about Tom Brady to San Francisco.
It doesn't
Everything's
matter
been Miami.
that you haven't seen anything. You know why you haven't seen anything, Katie? Because it's March.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
like
if there are
Brady
rumors
he's
around,
sitting in Tahiti somewhere.
He's taking thirst trap pictures and buying kittens.
And he should be. After a 50-year NFL career where he might have one more left in the tank.
Yeah.
I mean, he's enjoying himself right now, but in the back of his head, he knows what the roster looks like in San Francisco. He knows how good that defense is in San Francisco. He knows what the weapons look like in San Francisco. He knows that Deebo Samuel has been waiting on a quarterback that can throw him the ball and know how to use him to get him over the top for a while. And if they're telling Brady, hey, Tom, we need a quarterback for 1 year, and the only thing that stopped us was Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what knocked us out of the Super Bowl, because we got down to our 4th string quarterback in the NFC title game. I'm telling you, you got a clear interstate. You got a damn Autobahn right down to the Super Bowl with this roster, and nobody in the NFC can beat you. I mean, who scares you in the NFC? Nobody scares.
But
I
he
mean,
was
like
beatable
that's
this
why
past
they're
year.
making such a big deal about Derek Carr, Katie, with the Saints. Because Carr, right now in the NFC, he might be the damn 3rd best quarterback.
He might.
He's definitely the best quarterback in the NFC South. I mean, like, look around these NFC divisions. There's not a quarterback in sight. Tom Brady's got to be looking at San Francisco. And San Francisco is looking at Tom
these
Brady.
San Francisco rumors?
Katie, that was his favorite team growing up.
I know,
and
but
the way the
there's
team's
all
set
the
up.
smoke going around. There's nothing about San Francisco with Tom Brady. It's all Miami. I just wonder where this is coming from.
yeah.
I don't think he's coming out of retirement at all.
That's what his agent wants you to think.
Maybe. I just don't think he's going to do it again. I mean, surely, like, he's not going to do this again.
Yeah, he can.
How embarrassing. If
Didn't
he were
Michael
to do
Jordan
this
run
again.
If
retire
Aaron
twice?
Rodgers signs with the New York Jets, which it looks like
I
it's
think he
trending,
is.
it's trending in that direction because as the report said yesterday, I mean, the Green Bay Packers have to grant the San Francisco 49ers
Should we bet?
at some point next year.
Should we bet?
I'll call it opening day just so we can mark it. But if it's not opening day, I want some insurance because the bet ain't over.
Jordy, careful. I was right about Carr and Aaron Rodgers. I've been calling to the Jets, so let's be careful here. But if you want to bet, I will.
Okay.
I'll do this.
I mean, Katie.
Yeah.
First off, you
Don't
should be
be
the scared
mean.
one. Yeah, I mean, you're the one that's lost all the bets.
I haven't. I've been calling all these things. Stewie put it in a text the other day. We can share that with everybody if we want. Katie has been on it with sports knowledge lately. Have I not?
Rodgers goes to the Jets. Tom Brady's going to be in San Francisco next year. I'm telling you. Who's going to be the quarterback in San Francisco? Trey Lance with that roster? What a waste of talent that roster would be. To have that defense, to have those weapons, that offensive line, and have that trash under center like they've had. Brock Purdy's a good player. And if he's healthy, we're not having this discussion. But Purdy had elbow surgery yesterday that's going to keep him out a minimum of 8 months. 8 months of no contact, no work, no physical work, not getting better, not strengthening the arm, not working the chemistry with the wide receivers. So ultimately, San Francisco is sitting in a position where they have a guy in Trey Lance that they obviously don't believe in. They obviously don't like him. They obviously believe deep down, we can't win with this guy. Somebody call Tom Brady. John Lynch has been in the corner texting Brady since he retired.
But he's got his broadcast contract and everything, right? For 2024?
Yeah, that can wait.
Katie.
I guess.
Look at what he's doing to Fox.
I hear you.
I mean, he's treating Fox like the dude outside that won't go away. You know, it's like, I mean, this guy, I mean, he's going to be here whenever you're ready. You know, it's like, tell him I'm not ready for him right now. Chili, you can't judge Trey Lance right now. Maybe so. But you know Kyle Shanahan and that group knows they've seen enough. We haven't seen enough. The public hasn't seen enough. Would he play a game and a half before he snapped his ankle? But there's been a lot of training camp. There's been a lot of preseason. There's been a lot of practices. There's been a lot of film study. There's been a lot of evaluation on Trey Lance internally that we haven't seen, and they're still looking for quarterbacks. I mean, you know, they were still going after Jimmy G last year.
Ooh,
Coach
guy.
Davis. There he
Here we
is.
are.
We'll be right back with Will Davis, head coach from Lamar, coming in with a squad 10-1 tonight. Back to the box for the former Tiger player and coach. We'll be back with Coach Davis next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. When we get back to the football discussion, including LSU starting spring practices tomorrow, so we'll have some storylines and things to watch out for there. But tonight, it is going to be baseball center stage over at the box as Lamar heading in for a 6:30 first pitch. And this has been a cool game over the last 7 seasons as Coach Will Davis is in his 7th season with Lamar, which is crazy to think about. But Davis, a former catcher at LSU, was also an assistant coach for the Tigers through some pretty good days during LSU baseball. Now leading Lamar, and this Lamar group is coming in. They got a squad, 10-1 overall. They are led by outfielder Tanner Wilson, catcher Ryan Snell. They got a first baseman in Josh Blankenship, who can mash as well. So looking forward to catching up with Coach Davis here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good to be here, man.
Buddy, it's been a while, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's I guess you have like a different platform now where you can like curse and stuff. That's scary to think about.
It is. Damn it. Coach, how has this been, man? I guess this is the 7th time you're going to play this game, which is wild. But what is this experience like coming back to the place that means so much to kind of your baseball development?
It's a cool thing just to see like all the former guys, come out and a lot of fans that have reached out and said that they'd be there to see us. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of like another great opportunity. It doesn't really feel that much different than playing like Texas A&M or Texas or somebody like that for us, just because, only I think 2 of our guys are from Louisiana. So, it's not like it's just another really big school that just so happens to be the number 1 team in the country that, this time around.
Yeah, I was going to ask you from your point of view. So from an outsider, we've been in the forest here with this team for a while now, watching them through fall ball and through recruiting and through the first 11 games of the season, and they look all that they've been cracked up to be as the number 1 squad. As somebody that has scouted them and coming in to play against them, what do they look like?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see too many weaknesses. It's crazy because could miss on guys, but what the transfer portal has done is it's pretty much eliminated the misses. It's you're projecting high school kids, even junior college kids, what they can be in recruiting, but Thatcher Hurd and Tommy White and Paul Skeens, it's not too hard to project what they're going to be at the Division I level when they've already put up pretty monster numbers at that level. So, it's funny, like when we played A&M in the fall, I kind of thought to myself, like, why are we still playing A&M and LSU? We can't beat these guys. And lo and behold, we went out 2 weeks ago and beat A&M. So, you never know, I guess. So it's still a great experience for us. And the great thing about us is that we're a veteran team. We'll be poised. I don't know what the outcome will be, but I know we'll get a lot out of it. And obviously we're coming in trying to win, and that's the same mentality we had against Texas A&M. But, for the long haul for our team, it's for what we're trying to accomplish, it's a great opportunity to get out there and get better.
10-2, one of the best starts in program history, Coach. What has it been for your team? You mentioned you're a veteran squad, but what have you seen early on here that's kind of stabilized you here through the early part of the season?
Man, we've just been really good at run prevention. We've played really good defense. We haven't made too many errors in the infield. We had a couple fluky errors here and there, pitching and in the outfield and stuff like that. But we've turned the outs into outs. We've made the plays, and our pitching staff has been really good. Our walk to strikeout ratio is one of the best in the country, and we're pretty deep depth wise. We can go to a lot of capable guys, and you're not really rolling the dice on anyone. You kind of know what you're going to get. So that's a really great thing to have. And then we haven't really gotten rolling at the plate yet, but kind of our bread and butter the last few years has just been we've been really tough outs. And, you can kind of see that with our walk to strikeout ratio. We're a tough team to put away. And, that leads to some we cash the runs in and we get a runner on third, less than 2 outs usually. And we've been scrappy. We're better than what we've actually showed to this point. I think we'll only continue to get better, but in the meantime, we've been pretty scrappy on offense, and that's led to a lot of victories.
Ryan Snell has been named to the Johnny Bench Award watch list, and you tweeted at the boys, at Cade Savick, at Ochenko, at Gibbs and the crew to come out and watch tonight because You believe he's one of the best that you've coached. He seems like, from a numbers standpoint, that he's on track to have a stellar season. What is it about your guy behind the plate that makes him stand out?
Yeah, on the offensive side, just like all those guys, he's a pretty clutch hitter, and he's had some big hits for us. When we were down 4-3 against A&M, he hit a 3-run home run to win the game. He hit a walk-off home run opening night to win the game. He's had some big hits. We were tied in the 9th against New Mexico State, and he hit a home run to win that one. So, he's had some big ones there. And then just defensively, I mean, he's as good of a receiver as I've ever had. And, we've got some good ones, including those three guys. Michael Papirski obviously was a really good one. He's right there with all them. And then he's an elite thrower as well. He's thrown out over 50% of his runners, and just a hard-nosed, tough kid. He reminds me a lot of Civic from a small town, and he's like my Lamar Cade Civic is the way I tell people. So he's been a blessing to have, and he's the leader of our team.
We've seen what the effects have been in recruiting, both with NIL and transfer portal, here from an SEC level coach, both in the enormous sport of football down to the sports of women's basketball, men's basketball, and including baseball. How does it touch a campus like Lamar? How has it changed your strategy in building your roster?
Yeah, we haven't taken a lot of high school kids since that rule came into effect, just because we've been rated, quite frankly. We've lost our Friday night starter the last 2 years to the University of Oklahoma. We've lost a pitcher to West Virginia, to Texas, University of Houston. So we've become somewhat of a feeder school for the Power Five. So rather than cry about it, we've tried to kind of fight fire with fire. We've signed a lot of junior college kids. We got our number one pitcher is from Stephen F. Austin. Our starting shortstop is from Stephen F. Austin. The kid that's going to be on the mound tonight for us is from SIU Edwardsville. So we've tried to, if we're going to lose our really top guys, we're trying to go out and get maybe some schools that are a little smaller than us. Maybe they're top guys. So, you can either, like I said, cry about it, or you can pivot, and that's what we've tried to do.
Yeah. Your team ERA, coach, is nice right now. How have your pitching staff here early on has performed?
They've been great. Yeah, I mean, and our bullpen's been very strong, and our weekend starters have been really good. I mean, there really hasn't been too much of a weakness. Like I said, there's been, and this is the deepest staff I've had at Lamar, to where it's when we're getting down to 12, 13, it's like, man, I'd like to get that guy in more, rather than, oh man, I can't believe we have to throw this guy tonight, because we're so thin, but, so that's a great problem to have, obviously, is that we can, piece together a weekend over 27 innings, and we're going to capable guys all the time. And it keeps the top guys fresh too, because you're not trying to overextend them, knowing that you've got quality arms coming out of the bullpen.
All right, you're jumping on a bus here at noon today to make the 3.5-hour, 4-hour trek over from Beaumont to the box. When you get here, is it all ball, or you get a dinner with the boy? I mean, kind of a meal with you see any of the crew?
Yeah, no, it's a day trip, so it's not, no, we get together over Thanksgiving and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But, it's this is pretty much business. I think a lot of guys are coming by early. I've talked to Ochinko and some of those guys. So, hopefully get to see a lot of the people out there. Carl DeCat told me to bring a large sweatshirt, so we'll have to make sure that's on the bus for him. So,
well, if you're bringing gear, Coach, I've always got my hand out.
Well, are you coming, or
yeah, I'll be there 6:30. Yeah, I can be there.
Okay,
for sure.
All right. We'll see what we got. We'll see what size we got.
Coach, we did top 5 yesterday, and you're a great baseball historian, especially somebody that understands LSU. We did top 5 all-time players. I went Aaron Nola 5, Eddie Furness 4, Ben McDonald 3, which was a little bit caught some criticism on that. Bregman 2, and I went Todd Walker 1. Agree, disagree? Where do you disagree? Where do you agree?
It's hard. I think this is like the LeBron MJ debate. It's hard to compare the eras, I think. And then also, I think you kind of get muddled with the what they did in professional baseball as well, But, Eddie Furness had 80 home runs and had, the all-time hits record for a long time. That's hard to top that. I think Todd Walker was a career 396 hitter. So that's that's hard to talk. I mean, how do you compare those things? I mean, obviously, some of the guys we coached, I mean, were great, like Bregman, and I mean, Ray Frime says if you're just going straight hitter, I mean, I think he's number 2 all time behind Todd Walker in batting average. Doesn't probably get the due that he deserves. So, I mean, Brad Cressy, I think, was 2 home runs off of Eddie Furness. And then if you're talking pitching, I mean, you've got so many, great ones. Obviously, McDonald being the first really good one to come to mind that kind of set the tone with the program. But yeah, you put me on the spot there. I don't want to get anybody in my mentions. So let's I'll stay away from that one.
Is LSU a trip to LSU? And I don't mean to play it up if it's not, but is this a kind of a destination type trip for guys on your roster? I mean, is this a place that you can kind of motivate them that you'll be in front of a lot of people and a lot of lights tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things when you're at a mid-major is you want to give them the best experience possible. And, I think that doing these kind of things and playing in big stadiums and big, on ESPN Plus and all that stuff, SEC Network or whatever, it's a cool opportunity for them. So I'm sure we'll be excited. I don't think we'll come out flat or anything like that. So there's not a whole lot of motivating to be said, really.
Lamar rolling right now as they are 10-2 and coming in tonight. First pitch 6:30 at the box. Coach Will Davis coming back to Baton Rouge, where he spent so much time as a player and a coach, now leading the program over at Lamar and doing a great job. Great to see you, man. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, you too. Good seeing you, Jordy.
All right, man. I'll see you there. There is Coach Will Davis joining us here. He put me on the spot, and I do not know if I'm going to go that game.
You're not going.
I know.
You're not going.
Call me straight out, and I buckled under the coach's pressure. I think he's still on and laughing at me.
He is. I can see him laughing.
I think he's laughing at me.
You said that,
like, "Are you going?" Okay. I was like, "Yes, Coach. I'll be there." Yes.
Just mail us the merch.
Yes. Just mail us the hoodie,
coming.
Coach. That's probably a better. I'll text you the address. You caught me in a lie. I buckled. Are you going? Yes, I'll be there. I knew as I was saying
you're like,
it.
yeah, 6:30. Yeah,
6:30. I'll just walk down to the dugout and ask for my hoodie there, Coach. First pitch.
Here for Coach Will Davis.
Right. Coach Davis said for me to get here to get the hoodie at 6:30. Is that not the plan?
No,
is that not the deal?
Some intern.
Is that not the deal? Yeah, right. That's right.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, at least you can admit it. At least you can.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And I can admit it. All right. So, are you good with it? Brady to the Niners?
What do you mean? Am I good with it?
You believe it now?
No, I do not. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put it on the poll.
I don't.
Please do.
Put it on the poll.
Please
Let's see what everybody thinks.
Thank you. Not that is going to sway my vote anyway, or sway my decision anyway. But as soon as the Rodgers information goes solid, and it should here in the next couple of days, I predict, and the Tom Brady information won't follow as soon as that happens. Like, it's not going to, as soon as Rodgers says he's going to the Jets, that Brady's saying he's going to the Niners. This may take until August.
You think so?
So, I mean, y'all can point.
For Brady,
y'all can point and laugh and thought you said Brady was going to the San Francisco. Like, it's not over until, really the season ends.
What?
Because, they could call him in September. They could call him in mid-October and be like, yo, man,
For this coming season?
The Trey Lance
Are we still
thing,
talking about 2023 season?
The 2020, absolutely, the upcoming season.
Okay.
Yes. What do you mean? I mean, were you trying to retroactively play?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. I'm trying to figure this out.
I'm playing him next year for the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay. This coming season.
2023.
This year. Okay.
Stewie's got it on the poll, presented by Southern Eye Center of Baton Rouge, located on Jefferson Highway. You can check them out on social media as well. But remember, a great selection of sunglasses. St. Patrick's Day right around the corner.
Ooh. It's like 2 weeks, right?
Sun been shining, too. The weather.
I think St. Patrick's Day is next week.
Fantastic.
Next
I think it's a
Friday.
week from Saturday.
Oh, that's right. It is.
Friday.
March 18th?
Next Saturday is the parade. Yeah.
March 18th.
And Tom Granning is in the St. Patrick's Day parade in Natchez, and he is St. Patrick. I got my little invitation in the mail. It starts at his po' boy shop, and I'm going to try to hit that up.
Okay.
That's on Friday, the 17th, actual St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
How fun is that?
Good for Tommy.
I know. St. Patrick.
Stephen Miller, Jordy going to hold on to this bet until the Niners get booted from the playoffs. This is true, Stephen.
Yeah.
But it won't take that long. Tommy will be the opening day starter for San Francisco as soon as Aaron announces he's going to the Jets.
Man, I feel like you have some kind of insider information. You're so positive about this. I don't have any insider information, and I'm positive the opposite way.
Sweet. At some point, you got to fail in these bets. I mean, like,
I have.
you cannot
Hello.
stay.
I wore a damn whole
1,000%.
baseball uniform
Yeah, but
because
since
of
then,
it.
you've been on a streak.
I have been on a streak.
And it's got to end somewhere.
It does.
Little
She's
lady.
been on a tear.
And that's
I've
going to
been on a
end.
tear. It's just feelings.
That's going
I
to
get.
end in San Francisco.
Well, it's not smart of me to bet
city
bet
by
on
the bay.
Mississippi State, right? Okay, so we can all admit that. Like, those weren't smart bets for me to make. That was just an emotional bet.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Bet
These
with your
are
heart.
like, these are like, I feel these in my gut kind of things.
Ooh, the worst.
She's betting with her heart.
Followed my gut.
You know,
My gut told me,
is
yeah,
the gut
right.
better than heart?
Can you cover my rent this month? My gut told me that Tom
My gut
Brady
told
was
me
going
to
retire.
Yeah, told me that you were going to pay my rent this month. So you know.
Can you get me on my car note?
See.
My gut told me that Brady was going to play for the Dolphins rather than the 49ers.
We will see. I'm just saying. I mean, if the rumors are Miami, I would think that that's what you would be on.
Lamar Jackson gets the non-exclusive franchise tag from the Ravens, which means that the quarterback can negotiate with other teams, which I would imagine that this is kind of what Lamar has been asking for, right? I mean, like, you want to go out into the open market, here you go. Now, the difference between the non-exclusive franchise tag rather than the exclusive franchise tag is a lot of money. The non-exclusive tag is nearly $13 million less than the designated $32.5 million 1-year salary for a tagged quarterback.
Okay.
But Jackson's going to have the opportunity to go out there and seek a long-term deal. Baltimore will have the chance to match it in this setup.
What do you mean? Like, if someone else comes in and makes an offer, they can match it?
If somebody comes in and says, hey, look, we're giving you what you wanted.
Yeah.
You know, we're giving you a long-term deal. Well, Baltimore has a certain amount of time where they can match the offer. But if Baltimore does not match the offer and Lamar Jackson accepts it, the payment's 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
So...
Man.
You know, I mean, first round picks in the NFL are gold.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like, they are essentially, they are a stick of gold.
Yeah.
And if you're handing away 2 of them, you've got to believe that this player is going to get you over the top, like, right now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm giving away 2 first-round picks, so in the life of 2 first-round picks, I better be a contending, winning, championship type level program. So whoever's going to make the move for Jackson is saying that about him. I don't know how many teams out there exist, not only for Lamar Jackson, but for anybody. I mean, outside of Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, I mean, there's not a lot of guys out there that you would give up the farm for.
Is Lamar that guy?
I think at one point he was, and I think that he's still in the discussion, but we're about to find out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're about to find out.
Yeah.
I mean, because teams will have the opportunity to do it. Now, I mean, we saw Deshaun Watson. Cleveland gave up the farm for Watson last year. I mean, they gave up all of it, and you know, they gave him the contract and you know, gave him all of his demands.
Yeah, they did.
We'll see.
I think it's the injuries for Lamar. That's like
Yeah.
kind of got teams that's
I'll tell
kind
you
of
what,
like,
there seems to be internally something going on, and he's representing himself. He does not have an agent.
Really?
yeah.
Which a lot of people have called very dangerous during this time, just because it's the lifespan of an NFL player is very short. The window is
Unless you're
very
Tom Brady.
crunched. You know, just in the average year.
Yeah.
You know, the average years that you usually get are very crunched, and your earning capability is very limited. You know, as far as the time goes. So you got to maximize that. Right?
He's
And if-
young, 26.
I don't even know if he's 26.
He is.
Is he 26?
Same class as me.
But yeah, I mean, still, but in football terms, I mean, that's not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a baby anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, 30 in the NFL is elderly.
Unless you're Tom Brady.
Unless you're Brady. Yeah, I mean, but Brady's the outlier. You know what I mean? Like Brady. I mean, but a lot of quarterbacks are the outlier because the rules have changed to protect them so
exactly.
much. Lamar's different because he runs. I mean, he's like a running back in the sense of he can throw it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's just a runner. He's got a great arm.
Son
to
of
throw
real
it.
Bill Polish.
Right. But I mean, but his lifespan is different because he carries it, right? So
how long do they have? Like, how long can this
I don't know. I don't know the time period that he has to negotiate. The Ravens have now until July 17th to work out a long-term extension with Jackson. Then he would wear the, I guess, non-exclusive franchise tag for a year, which right now he is having the opportunity to shop himself.
But someone could swoop in any day now, right? And offer him.
But Baltimore still has the opportunity to match it.
Okay.
You know, like at any point.
Yeah.
Like it's not like somebody can dupe them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you have to say, hey, look, we've offered him 4 years, $125 million, so much guaranteed. And Baltimore can say, okay, we'll give you the same thing. Or we'll give you a little bit more.
God, that would make me so nervous if it dragged out that long, right? July. Like, I feel like you should be practicing. You should be with your team.
They will know. No. By July 17th is the long-term deal. So right now, until July 17th, they can work out a long-term deal. Once July 17th gets here, you have to deem the player whatever it is.
But could he leave before July 17th?
Yeah, that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
He's shopping himself, but that's going to last very quickly. Like this free agency window is going to happen pretty quick.
Okay.
I thought we
March
had
15th
some dates. Yeah.
is the free agency. Yeah.
So you'll know.
Yeah.
Pretty quick. But
I can't
if he
imagine
stays
that
in
feeling.
Baltimore after all of that, they have until July 17th to work out a long-term deal. If July 17th gets here and they're not a long-term deal, well, then they'd have to put the franchise tag on or the non-exclusive franchise tag, whatever it is. So next year he's going to play under that. You know, that'll be his status.
Yeah.
Is that he's not a contractually bound player long-term. He's a contractually bound player under the franchise tag, which is just paying him X amount during this, and then he'll have the opportunity to do pretty much the same thing next summer. You know, next offseason, he'll have the same opportunity to get a long-term deal and get it worked out. But, you know, the dangerous part about the NFL and the player is when you subject yourself to the game, you subject yourself to a long-term injury. And if you're not taken care of long-term and you're playing on a one-year deal, even if it can be, you know, $32.5 million, which is, you know, I mean, life-changing money for a lot of people, you're still playing with the risk of.
Yeah, that's scary.
You know,
I
it's
didn't
a
think about
scary
that.
proposition, man. I mean, you know, it's a dangerous game. It's a scary position. It's, you know, and like I said, Lamar is he's kind of in a different realm because he's representing himself. Like he's his agent. You know, I mean, he's in the room working out the contract. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it will be, and I think that there's a lot of stuff that's going to come out from it.
Yeah, I wish the best for him.
Yeah, me too.
Just pay the man.
I know, right? Somebody's going to.
It is getting very
like
kind of seemingly harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, because when you see like Daniel Jones getting a deal, Geno Smith,
Jones.
like
Another NFC quarterback.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones. Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Another NFC. I mean, get Kyler Murray.
It's just.
I mean,
Derek
Carr.
It's almost a joke over there.
Who's Tampa Bay's quarterback?
Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask.
That's the news out the draft.
I mean,
Is
is
that
it Marcus Mariota in Atlanta?
Oh, they cut him.
They cut him.
This is gonna be Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ridder. I mean, hey, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Stop me here when I've named somebody that you even know, Tom. Forget that you're fearful of. Like, do you even know any of these guys?
Kids, they weren't even born when Tom Brady
Which
started.
doesn't even
in
matter.
NFL.
Like, none of them can play.
Yeah.
I mean, like Burrow, Allen, and Hurts weren't born either, but I mean, they all can play.
No, they were born.
But I mean, they were babies.
Yeah, we're all kids.
You know, I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, Brady, retired, beach, video, social media. Get the hell out of here.
Well, let's see.
Brady, you want to win a Super Bowl? Hell yeah, I do. All right, sweet. Go on.
bait.
San Francisco's ready.
Well, 21% of the people think yes, he's going to unretire and sign with the Niners. 58% are saying no. 22% are saying stay at home. So I guess that 22 would also fall into the no.
Yeah. He's letting his kid run his Instagram.
Is he?
Tommy?
Yeah.
Which kid?
His daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, whenever he posts those pictures of like cats and stuff, it's his daughter.
What about the
running his
thirst
Instagram.
trap picture? Did she take that of him sitting on the edge of the
God, I hope
bed in his
not.
tidy whities? Let's hope not.
Yeah, that's
The Brady clothing line's not going as well as he thought he would.
Is there a Brady clothing line?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's
Brady's
what he's
brand.
modeling.
TB12 stuff.
The underwear.
That was his underwear.
Yeah.
That was a weird. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I wish
hey.
he wouldn't have done that.
Why? Brady's a cool.
That
He
was
seems
just-
like a cool guy.
I know, but that was weird. That
Like-
was a little bit cringy to me.
Like from the stories I've heard from Roe.
Yeah.
Brady seems like a cool guy.
I'm
He called
sure
Roe
he is.
Shaq.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure
He
he's
spent
a
some
great
time in
guy.
Baton Rouge. Because his
Really?
his kid, his oldest son, he had with Bridget Moynihan.
Yeah.
And she was down here filming a movie one
Oh.
summer, and he came down to visit the kid for like a week, I want to say, and he was working out in the indoor.
Really?
And he was like going late at night because like Kevin Falk had him over there.
wow.
I'm sure Rohan was a part of it.
Yeah,
like all of
for
his Baton Rouge
sure.
guys. But
How
I mean,
cool is that?
But this is like this is probably 04. Like, I mean, like he had won a Super Bowl, but he wasn't Tom Brady yet.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was
he
still
wasn't the
weird
guy.
looking,
Yeah,
skinny.
he was still kind of weird.
He hadn't had that glow
Strange.
up yet.
Yeah, no. He hadn't had that rich
Mhm.
glow up.
Mhm.
You know, like that untouchable rich.
You got 100
glow up.
million in the bank account.
Right.
He's still losing weight, I feel like. It looks like.
When you stop playing
in his face.
Yeah, and I know that's the thing. It's in his face, which is age, also. You know.
Sure.
Let's look at his neck. We need a close up of his neck, right?
What's Tom Brady's neck looking
What's
like
Tom
these
Brady's
days?
neck looking like? That's what we talked about yesterday. That's the true way to see how old someone is.
LSU spring football tomorrow. Stewie, how we feeling here? I don't think anybody's practicing.
Not yet, huh?
But I mean, like as far as the guys
names that
go,
are out.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Kelly yesterday updated some of the statuses of practices with injuries, and LSU going to be missing some key players here as they recover from injury. But a lot of them are on track for summer workouts and going to be available for the season opener against Florida State. But Tuesday, Kelly told The Advocate that sophomore tight end Mason Taylor, junior running back Armani Goodwin, redshirt center Charles Turner, defensive lineman Mekhi Wingo, transfer cornerback Deuce Chestnut out of Syracuse, West Virginia transfer defensive lineman Jordan Jefferson, and Alabama transfer wide receiver Aaron Anderson all would not practice. Kelly also confirmed redshirt sophomore defensive lineman Mason Smith and freshman edge rusher Deshaun Womack will be limited participants. Smith, of course, who tore his ACL, it's crazy even to see his name as an active participant in any part of spring after the injury that he sustained last August. Will get cleared for everything but contact soon, said Kelly of Smith. He also said Womack would be in a non-contact after undergoing shoulder surgery. So a couple of key guys that you thought would be available early here in spring going to be missing. Taylor not going to practice because of shoulder surgery, Kelly said. That will give more reps to new tight ends, guys like Mac Markway and Jackson McCoggin. Is that right? McGogan?
I think it's McGowan.
I think that's right.
As LSU looks for backups to use for tight end here. Who's the beast that they got? They flipped late in the process.
Oh, Kamarian Pimpton.
That's who I'm ready for. Dude.
Yeah,
Pimpton.
Summertime.
We'll
Get the
send
pimp.
not enough booty then tomorrow.
mean,
maybe next week more.
KJ, there'll be some ass out there.
We got a pimp. We got a perk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little pimp and a perk.
Pimp and a perk.
Pimp and a perk on a Saturday night, man. What's better than that?
You don't know how things
I
go.
mean, like, shit, Stewie. Print the T-shirts, dude. I'm here for my pimp and a perk.
I don't know really what looked forward to this spring. Like, I mean, everything is kind of set up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody
I'd
has
love
their
to.
spot.
I'd love to see the development of the quarterbacks. I'd love to see how they've improved, because now it is time to put the game on the quarterback's shoulders. If you're LSU,
yeah.
When will they start being at practice?
Tomorrow.
They'll be out there tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You said the quarterbacks?
Yeah.
You got to go out there every day.
Yeah,
So
I mean, they've
what's
been
the schedule? Like, are they easing into this, or is this like a?
I think it's 3 days a week for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably see some helmets and
Yeah, I
a
mean,
jersey tomorrow.
and nobody getting. You know, you want to obviously first things first. Nobody get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing that.
Are they going to wear the big padded helmets?
One thing,
Probably.
sure. Yeah, I think one thing that Brian Kelly has been tremendous on, and you know, I mean, hopefully he can keep that up once they get back on the field, is that the team has been healthy. You know, I mean, last year we talked to Bo Lowry about it last week. I mean, just how regularly over the last couple of years LSU have been battling injury, especially late in the season, and you know, specifically this last team really stayed healthy throughout the year, which was one of the difference makers. And you know, a lot goes into that. It's the off-season training, it's the nutrition, it's the attention to detail, the stretching, all that goes into kind of, rehabbing after practice and in between, practice and games. But it also goes in the way that you do practice, the way that you practice, right? I mean, knowing and being kind of cognizant of keeping them healthy and not putting them in positions to get them hurt. And, I think that there is a little bit of a science to it. I think that you got to sit down and prepare that stuff and think about it. Football naturally, as we all know, very physical game. Even the one-on-one drills, even the drills against air can be physical in the speed and style that you run them. But, if the ultimate goal is to be healthy and playing your best when it matters most, well, there's a lot to staying healthy that goes into it. And it's not just about, not running the Oklahoma drill. It's a lot of the way that you practice, the instances and the drills that they go through. And, Kelly's been very impressive with the way that he's run that part of football, the part of practice. And, that's the stuff I'm looking to see. I love to see that part of it for a guy like Kelly. We're watching somebody who's, going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer at what he does. He's one of the most well-respected at what he does. It's great to have a guy like Brian Kelly leading the football program again at LSU, somebody, where people come to model what's going on. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of off-season visitors to LSU here in the short off-season to just find out, what's the secret to that success?
Mm-hmm.
How do you flip the script, so no pun intended, to Orgeron's book, flip the script. But they literally did flip the script, from Orgeron to Kelly of, really changing a lot of what goes on. It'd be something beneficial for even like you and I, young business owners, people that are starting new ventures, people that are starting new teams, new development. How did you get it to run that efficient so quickly, right? A lot of people are kind of taking notice and wanting to know what's the secret. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people have been studying LSU over the last 15 years.
I know.
When Saban was here, there was a summer that Saban was here where Belichick spent 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
Belichick was hanging out when they used to work out in North Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. Belichick had just won his second Super Bowl, and he was spending 2 weeks of the summer in Baton Rouge with Saban. Nobody was doing that with Miles. Nobody was doing that with Orgeron. Now you're starting to see people flock into Baton Rouge to find out what's going on. How can we take this back to where we are and implement it?
What was the thing that we talked about the other day, the NFL survey that they ranked, the players ranked nutrition, weight rooms, coaches?
Yeah.
I wish they would do that for SEC. That would be cool. That would give
I'm
a really
sure they
good
do have an
insight.
internal one. They probably just don't make it public.
I wish they would, though.
I feel like LSU's would be A+.
It definitely would, yeah. I would love to see a comparison. Obviously Alabama will be up there probably.
Yeah, and
Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah.
The teams that are winning are at the top.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. There's a correlation to that.
Right, but it'd be cool to see it from the player's perspective, what they feel about it.
I would say the biggest dark horse, the one that you would least expect, would probably be Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably got fantastic facilities, probably take care of their players, probably want to do what they, all that they can. But I'd imagine that Texas A&M are plush.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They better
Texas,
be
USC
with the amount of money. Texas A&M's got just as much.
I know. And Arch they're starting their quarterback battle this
Yeah.
year.
Can you imagine what Georgia looks like right now?
Wait, have you heard that?
Who's the other quarterback?
Sarkisian came out and said Quinn Ewers and
Yeah.
Arch Manning are in a quarterback battle.
Yeah.
He has to say that.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to say that. I think that he's probably told somebody in recruiting something to where
gonna be
he's
the
got to
starter.
make him believe that he's in a competition. I don't think it does Arch any good to play early. And I really don't believe that the Mannings were saying we're demanding early playing time. I really don't. And look, if they're doing it behind the scenes, I'd be surprised to hear it. But I just don't take them for that type of – I just don't take them for that of we've got to play now. They understand that there's got to be development. I think it's a good thing that there's established quarterback where he is. I think it's good for Sarkisian to have somebody that he can almost use it as an example.
Mm-hmm.
And, how relatable those two guys probably are to one another, both being number one players at their position, both being kind of personalities that people wanted to know about, learn about, but they were very still kind of guarded and curious. I mean, I still don't know a lot about Quinn Ewers. I mean, it's not like he does a lot of interviews.
Yeah, the only thing I know about him is he has a nice mullet.
But he cut it off.
Yeah, he's from, Dallas.
He cut his mullet off.
Yeah, no.
No, I think he went to the same school as Breeze did.
Yeah,
went to
South Lake Carroll.
South Lake, yeah.
Dragons.
Or, yeah, whatever. West Lake Carroll or whatever it was. But, I mean, it's – I don't think that Arch has to play. I hope he doesn't. I mean, I really don't. I think that could actually set him back more than that could help him by playing too early than he needs to. Now, if he's ready to play like his uncle was, I mean, Peyton Manning played in his first collegiate football game because he had to, though.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? Because the starting quarterback got hurt, and they threw him in on the road at the Rose Bowl.
I think I saw a TikTok or something. It was Peyton Manning explaining this, and he was like, "Wait, I got to go in the game?"
Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, he's hurt.
I saw that too.
It was Todd Helton.
Yeah.
The Colorado Rockies first baseman. I mean, he was like an all-star first baseman for the Rockies. He was a baseball player and a football player and the team starting quarterback. And on the first or second series of the first game of the year, he's hurt and out. And they look at Manning and they're like, "You're in."
Yeah.
Tom.
Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Keith Jackson. ABC. National television. You were on St. Charles. You were at Fat Harry's 6 months ago on a fake ID. Manning, you're in.
Get in.
The whole world's watching.
Warm up, you bum.
Y'all, we haven't done mailbag. Yeah. It's Wednesday.
What we got? We have any?
Do we have any texts or voicemails? Or we can let people call in. We could take a little break and come back to that and finish it out
bots.
with mailbag. Always bots.
Yeah, we haven't had a mailbag call since.
All right, y'all call us. 225-229-7741. Road Camaro.
All right, we'll be back. Take your phone calls and get out of here as we'll close down this Wednesday, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier, Kyron Lacy, Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference. Bet. Let's get it done.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. We're about to get out of here on this Wednesday. Any mailbag questions, Stewie?
Got a couple text messages.
Okay, what we got?
All right. Hashtag mailbag. Can you get Jordy to put his stamp of approval on betting on LSU to cover in basketball? So I can take it. So I can take Georgia and not lose any sleep over it. Hashtag Jordy curse.
It is real. It is real out there. I cannot believe LSU is favored by 2. Is this correct? Is this right?
This is right.
I mean, Stephen Miller, you said that, right? That LSU's favored by 2. I'm pretty sure I saw that early on in the chat.
I just don't know how.
I'm just going by the chat.
The morale of the team. I mean, I think they're ready for the season to be opened.
Probably, but just this being Georgia and how the last 2 games have gone, I think that's helping.
No, it's LSU -1.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at LSU, man.
I mean, Georgia feels like a sucker bet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who was this asking?
No names.
They didn't say. What's next?
Next question is Kenneth.
Take the dogs.
Kenny Balala. Is that how I say it?
I think so. Balala.
Good morning.
Something like
this
that.
is Kenny Balala. I'm going to say it like Katie said it. I agree with Jordy on Brady. I watched Coward interview with Brady. He definitely didn't give 100% on retirement. He kind of hinted that if the right opportunity came his way, that's what I just got from it.
Miami.
Yeah, sounds good. I think Miami's back on the Tua train.
It was Hunter Fournette that asked that first question, he said.
They're going to let Tua die out there before they get a new quarterback.
No doubt about it.
Poor
They're going to have Tua stuffed under center at some point.
That poor guy.
Mike McDaniel's just ripping the vape.
Hit that like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate you being here. Thanks for always being involved. We got the Will Wade show tomorrow, as we will have Will Wade. As we will have the Will Wade show today. We're recording it today. Get our prospects on NCAA March Madness brackets, and of course give a little SEC basketball preview as it cranks up today.
Have a take, don't suck.
Hey, have a take, don't suck. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Stewie and crew?
Hey.
Jeff Jenner. Man, you know what? I got 2 quick takes. Actually, my goal is to keep y'all on the air until 9 a.m. You know, that's our daily goal in the bunkers, to keep y'all here till 9 a.m. No, two observations. Number one, the whole boutique combine thing, it's sad, and I just hope and pray, I really do, that somebody gets in his ear and motivates him and gets his head right, because he has way too much talent and potential to not be motivated. And right now, that seems to be the biggest problem in his life that we saw it this year. There just seemed to be that lack of that it. And he's got it. And I just think somebody has to get in his ear and say, look, don't blow this. And that pro day, I think, is going to be a tell-all for the entire NFL to see how he comes prepared for that. And Jordy, I know y'all made a comment earlier about this. The women's basketball dropping to number 9 is beyond inexplicable. And I have a theory about this, and it's just, I think maybe it's a little bit of Southern bias. I just feel like Louisiana sports in general, the Saints, the Pelicans, LSU in general, and we've seen it over and over again. The national media is so biased against New Orleans sports, Louisiana sports, and also so uninformed. The Brandos, the 40s, all these, it's mind-boggling how they can be so biased and uninformed about LSU sports, and to allow LSU to drop to number 9. What are y'all's thoughts on that? That's just crazy.
There's no way that you can explain it with a straight face and tell me that nobody somewhere is biased.
It's Dickie.
I mean, it's just, I don't even think it's, they don't have anything to do with the women's game.
No, I'm kidding, I know.
I really think it's more of the influence of guys like Gino Auriemma, people like Dawn Staley.
Careful.
I think that's where this comes from, and really, I think it's struck more specifically from Staley in South Carolina on.
And I agree. And that's my
him.
point: is that these writers aren't doing their due diligence in their job; they're being influenced by the powers that be.
Sure.
And I think that's incredibly unprofessional. It's frustrating as a fan. But anyway, hey guys, okay, well, hey, I hope y'all stay on air till 9 and have a great day, and we'll see y'all soon, man.
Thanks,
Bye.
Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Come on. Drop from number 3 to number 9.
Yeah, there's
Number 2
something
to
up
number
with
9. Come on. There's not 9 better teams, 8 better teams in LSU women's basketball out there, and everybody knows that. People that are especially close to the game. It's too evident that somebody has some axe to grind somewhere. Wherever it is, it's out there. It's too evident. All right, appreciate everybody's interaction. It's great to hear from everybody and the engagement. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button. If you're not subscribed, make sure and subscribe. If you're a podcast listener, make sure you are downloading that podcast and are alerted to it daily so you can just get downloaded into your inbox. Appreciate you being here. We will be back with you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.